Can I just say one thing firstly? I love the name Eat Sleep Boxing Repeat.
Welcome back to ESBR Boxing's YouTube channel. It's me, Niall. Delighted as always to be joined by Danny, and we're here in final prediction mode for this weekend's European featherweight title fight between Nathaniel Collins and Cristobal Lorente in Glasgow. Of course, Nathaniel Collins, big Scottish hero, looking to add the European title to his previous British and Commonwealth titles at 126 pounds. But he has another unbeaten fighter in his way in the Spaniard Cristobal Lorente. So yeah, before we get into things, please don't forget to drop a like on the video, subscribe to our YouTube channel at ESBR Boxing, and follow us on all social media. Danny, I hope you're well. Let's jump straight into it, no messing about. Nathaniel Collins, Cristobal Lorente, European honours on the line. What is your final prediction for this one?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Nathaniel Collins to get it done. I think he's riding the crest of a wave after a career best performance against Lee McGregor. However, I don't think he'll have things all his own way here. I watched the bit of Cristobal Lorente in anticipation of this video and was impressed enough. He's technically sound, tricky customer on the back foot, very long limbed, and that's a style we've seen Nathaniel Collins struggle with in the past, particularly the Zach Miller fight, very close run thing. Zach Miller, obviously the current, I think he's still got the British, but certainly the Commonwealth champion at 126 pounds, and a good fighter, but a British level fighter. And I think Lorente, that back foot style, I think will frustrate Collins as opposed to, I don't think there's any danger of Nathaniel Collins getting stopped here or really losing the fight. But I do think this will maybe be a tricky, frustrating night for him. But ultimately, I do rate him very highly. I think he can go on past that British fringe world level potentially. And I think Lorente represents a decent European champion that can often be a very wide sort of range in terms of how good these European champions are. But I think he's a decent one, but I don't think decent will be enough to beat Nathaniel Collins in his own backyard. So I'm backing Nathaniel Collins to win the fight in a relatively competitive points victory.
Yeah, it's hard to kind of disagree with your assessment. You know, Lorente is a good fighter. As you say, he's back foot, real awkward style, you know, real kind of unassuming, I suppose, being the word, but you know, he's those long limbs, as you say, on the back foot. You know, he likes to kind of he fights very upright, he keeps his hands down low, he can have his chin high, but you know, he is a good European level fighter. But as you say, I think Nathaniel Collins, and we'll kind of discuss it after this prediction, but I think Nathaniel Collins, the sky's the limit for him. I really do. I'm a big fan of Nathaniel Collins. I like his, you know, obviously southpaw, quick, good feet, technically sound. And I just don't think Cristobal Lorente does anything better than Collins. You might kind of raise a few eyebrows at this prediction, but I'm going for. I think Nathaniel Collins is going to blast out Cristobal Lorente quite early in this. As I say, I'm not saying Cristobal Lorente is a bad fighter, but I just think Nathaniel Collins is going to prove that he's levels above European level. I really do think so. So I'm going for Nathaniel Collins standout performance and stoppage in 4 rounds, I'd say. I'm going for a fourth round Nathaniel Collins TKO probably. I just think I could be made look stupid with that prediction, but it could be a tricky night's work, kind of on points, like you say. But yeah, I'm going for an early stoppage in a real kind of performance to sit up and make people take notice of this. So yeah, I think he'll win the European title. As you said, I don't think there's danger of him losing this fight either way. But yeah, we're both going for a Nathaniel Collins win. Let's kind of touch on what I was mentioning there before we wrap up. What is the kind of limit, in your opinion, for Nathaniel Collins? Will we see him win a world title? Can he mix it with the best at 126?
Before I do, I would just like to let the viewers know that myself and Niall are in a picks league. So next week, I'll be paying close attention to make sure that Nathaniel Collins' early stoppage is back in writing, in paper, with money on the line. Just like to make sure.
I'll stick by it. I'll stick by it in the Picks
Good man.
League. I'll give you my word now.
Good man. I think Nathaniel Collins can go on. I think he needs a couple more fights. Like, it is a big jump from that version of Lee McGregor, from Cristobal Lorente, whatever he proves to be, to the champions at 126 pounds. I think a good fight in between that and feel almost bad saying it as an Irishman, but TJ Dehenny, I think maybe you had an inkling that's what I was going to say when I dropped the Irish thing. He's very seasoned campaigner at that weight. Gave Nick Paul some problems. And I think that would be a good fight with, again, not too much jeopardy, but a fight Nathaniel Collins would learn a lot from. And after you get that past that sort of level in 12 months, 18 months, you're sort of ready to go then. And I think you will be come then. Nathaniel Collins, I think he's still relatively young. Is he, what, 27, something like that? So you're really coming into your prime. And I think this is a good fight for him against Lorente to add a few wrinkles to his game. I'd love to see the Nick Ball fight. I think that's a great fight stylistically for Collins. I think he looks at his best when you've got someone coming at him, opening up where the slick punching with power as well can really be seen in its best light. It's a fight with a bit of backstory too. There's been accusations of Collins that Nick Ball swerved that fight when they were both sort of in and around closer to British level. I think Collins has also said he wants to go down the WBC route, a fight with Stephen Fulton. How appealing that is for Stephen Fulton. He'll be looking for mega fights, maybe all American mega fights, but it's another intriguing matchup. But I'm not as 100% sold as you. Not that I'm writing them off. I just need to see a bit more, but there's no reason to suggest we won't see it with the right fights. And yeah, can definitely go on and become a world champion for sure.
Yeah, I do agree. Like maybe I might be getting a bit carried away. Maybe I might need to steady the brakes a bit, but I do think he is a talented fighter who can
Without a
do it,
doubt.
and I absolutely agree. The Nick Ball fight is brilliant. It's stylistically brilliant. You know, that'd be a real kind of fan-friendly fight, that with the two kind of blend of styles there, the aggression of Nick Ball and the boxing of Nathaniel Collins. But yeah, I do think if that fight happened, you know, I'd find it hard who would kind of pick to win that fight, to be quite honest with you. Maybe, as you say, a couple more fights in between. But yeah, I think Nathaniel Collins can win a world title. On the kind of, you piqued my interest there with the TJ Dehenny show. You know, it wasn't the name I thought you were going to drop, and I'm going to throw another Irish name at you, and you know who I'm going to drop here. A man who was supposed to fight Cristobal Lorente, whatever happened to that fight. Mick Conlon, he's back in the win column. Let's say Nathaniel Collins does get through this. Mick Conlon, Nathaniel Collins for the European featherweight title. Who do you see winning that one?
It's not a fight I think will happen, and I think that's probably in Mick Conlan's best interest at this stage that that fight doesn't happen. You got to be impressed by the way Mick Conlan dealt with Jack Bates, and you know they couldn't have hoped for much more in how that fight turned out. But you know Nathaniel Collins is a lot better, fresher, heavier handed, sharper, all those things than Jack Bates, and thankfully I think Conlan's angling towards mega fights slash world title fights. I think they've got to be careful with him and who they match him up with. I've seen talk of a Stephen Fulton fight. I think that would be very brave. And I think Nathaniel Collins, I mean, if you're Nathaniel Collins, that's a dream fight. It's a huge fight. It's a fight that grows your profile. And it's a fight that I think most people in boxing would back him to win. But I can't imagine, Team Conlon would be too keen on that.
Yeah, I agree. I get accused, probably rightly so, of being biased, having an Irish bias, but I do think it is a bad night for Mick Conlon. As I say, he was supposed to fight Lorente for the European title. They had that face off, whatever happened there, who knows? But yeah, I think Nathaniel Collins will give Mick Conlon a bad night. I really think so. But yeah, there's plenty of fascinating options for Nathaniel Collins. But first of all, he has to get through the European champion, Cristobal Lorente, and see can he take that EBU title from him this Saturday night in Glasgow in front of a hometown crowd, obviously. So yeah, let us know what you think in the comments. Myself and Danny are going for a Nathaniel Collins win for the to become the new European champion. So do you agree? Do you think Lorente can pull off the upset and get it done? Let us know what you think in the comments. Drop a like on the video, as I said at the start. If you're not doing so already, subscribe to our YouTube channel at ESBR Boxing and follow us on all social media. Danny, it was a pleasure. Take care.
Thanks, mate.